two, please don't overextend. It's an endurance test, the real fight begins. Take a walk to this corner, come get your second win.
Welcome to the Second Win Boxing Media. I'm your host, Rashid Hammond, alongside...
It's your boy, Caesar Fantastic.
Yes, and today we're going to talk about what we saw last night. One of the great performances from Spence versus Ugas. It was a wonderful fight. I mean, action-packed from round one to the final round that it ended in. So, we saw some extraordinary fight techniques from Spence yesterday.
Good.
Oh my God, he put on a performance. He broke that man down from round one to the round that it ended in. My take on it, man, I think Spence has, man, just took it to another level in terms of the body shot attack, Sean.
It was the body shots. The body shots was crazy. He went back to what he used to do.
Exactly.
You know, that was what Spence, when coming up, that's what he was known for.
Exactly.
Body shots was nasty.
It was nasty. It was like no other. I mean, I take my hats off to Spence, man, for readjusting, because in the beginning, Ugas was giving him a little work.
Ugas was controlling. He's keeping distance. He was fighting outside. I don't know what happened. I don't know what he thought about. Something came across his mind, made him say, "Hey, let me go inside for a minute," and it was curtains after.
And you know, man, if you really pay attention to most of Spence fighters, that left side. For some of the right side, that right eye, that left hand does some damage, man.
He nasty, but I don't know why. Ugas, boy, maybe he caught him early, made him. He just lost his train of thought. Don't fight in there, man.
and I forgot how great Spencer is as an inside fighter. You know, he's not short. He's not that tall, but man, the way he worked that inside, that body attack, man, was just like no other.
It was nasty, man.
Yeah, man.
He did what he was supposed to do. I mean,
what's your take on Ugas's future? Do you see him continuously going on, or should he let it go? He had an injury. He had fractured
orbital bone.
It was the injury that I saw. I couldn't pronounce it, so I'm not going to try to pronounce it down. So it was a serious injury to up in the area. It's fractured
orbital bone. Yeah, that's. I said it last night when we was watching. I said, look like he about to lose his eye, man.
He definitely did.
I seen it with Lubin, you know, and it looked the same. Exactly. You know, I said he looked just like Lubin, just didn't have the broken nose, you know.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm like, but yeah, it's future. I think it's still a spot for him.
I think so.
I think it's still a spot for him. If Spence leaving, he leaving the division. He's going to 54.
Yep.
Crawford might not be long.
I think he's coming also behind him.
You know, Crawford might take a couple fights down there too. Then he going and after that it's Thurman. Then you got youngest coming up like Ennis.
Yeah,
and
Ennis a bad boy.
Crowley, who fought earlier than an undercard, and
I'm on the ropes with him.
Yeah, I'm like, I got to see more. You know, so it's like for what's left in the division, Ugas still could make a name for himself.
Yeah, I think so. Spence versus Crawford. Spence versus Crawford. What you think, man?
Ooh, what you see, man? I'm back and forth, man.
Me too, man.
I can't. Woo, that thing there, because it's like you see Spence gonna come and try to overpower you, gonna try to muscle you around. Crawford gonna come and try to outbox you. He's slick and extra smart in the ring, you know, and he got all the intangibles, so it's like watching the two perfect fighters fight.
I think so, man. I've never, in a long time since Floyd and Pacquiao and things, it's one
Alvarez,
of those.
It's Canelo and Golovkin again.
Exactly.
You know?
It's like, so you can't. I really at one point I was liking Spence. At one point I was liking Crawford. Now I'm back at liking Spence. Yeah. It's like it's whoever's fighting.
And you Crawford next fight, when Crawford fighting his next fight, if he don't fight him next, you know.
Right.
Then it's going to probably be, man, I don't know, Crawford might get him. You know.
Yeah, right. while we on this topic, we might as well continue going this topic. Promoters, fight promoters.
Woo.
Are they in the way of keeping the big fights, or is these young guys that's learning now to become free agents creating their own big fights?
I think that's an issue. Like, it's a slippery slope,
Right.
You know, I can understand promoters bringing people's career along and getting them to a certain level, but once you reach a certain level, in order to get legacy fights and
Right.
to get, you know, career defining fights and
Right.
moments, you can't be tied down to only be able to fight PBC fighters
I
or
understand.
only being
Yeah.
able to fight top ranked fighters.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So if top rank has all the belts, I just sit over here at PBC and never get a belt.
No, you don't. I wouldn't do.
Bye.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It reminds me of the old days of wrestling. WCW versus
WWE.
WWE. You never see them get that. That's how
Nah.
boxers starting to treat themselves. Like
Yeah.
you'll never see the crisscross between the two.
Yeah.
That's how they're acting. It's just
Yeah,
like
so
we
they're
just
acting. It's-
is and I take my hat off to Devin Haney for putting. He's not the original blueprint. You got to give it to Floyd, Sugar Ray Leonard, guys of that nature that done it many years, who was able to move in and out of whichever fight. I want to fight a Don King fighter. I can fight him. I want to fight and what's the other man?
Heyman. You got
Heyman
you got,
and what's the Bob Hearn, Bob Hearn, top ranked fighter. I could fight one of those guys. He had those options, but Devin Haney definitely set the blueprint for the youngest. Floyd originated it in this era, but I give it to Devin Haney for being able to say, "Look, what I can do. I'm able to break that deal and go for the undisputed world title, and it's happening. It's happening, and the promoter's not in the way." The promoter's not in the way. If they fight each other, you know, 135 has the ability, the capabilities of being one of the best divisions in history if they fight each other.
They fight each other. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's what 147 had years ago.
Yeah, 147 had it, but they never got the opportunity
Chance
to
to fight
each other. Until each other got broke down from taking those other worthless fights.
Or they fought in other divisions, and we got
Exactly.
older, and everybody was so stacked in that division.
Man, that
It
division
just
was
like,
serious.
oh my, it was like 20 deep.
I remember it, man.
I'm like, man, everybody in this division.
I remember it.
And,
I remember it.
Yeah,
And now I take my hats off to Sean Porter. He fought most of them.
Oh yeah,
He fought most of them.
He's bulldog.
He
He
fought
a
most
bulldog.
of them.
He just. That's my man.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You
He
know,
fought most of them.
He don't care who he
Yeah,
go
he
against.
he got a taste of most of those people.
He
It
gonna
just
come at you all
Yeah.
heads and bows. I
Yes,
don't care what.
that's a fact, man. I'm happy that he retired. Enjoy your retirement,
Yeah.
man. You put the work in, brother Sean.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
went out with his senses.
Yeah,
you
he
know?
did, man. He
It's a good
did,
thing.
and got some money from it
That's
too. man.
right.
So, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our time for today on the Second Win Boxing Media.
He's on the ropes. He's spins off the ropes. He's moving around now and he's getting a little bit of rhythm. He finally got that second win. Can't be stopped. Round coming to a close. Hands up, defend.